Well, thank goodness for the Georgia Bulldogs that the pink towel has been located.
Go Dogs.
Go
Just in time.
Dogs.
Just in time, actually.
Hey, babe.
Hey, love.
How's it going?
I don't know, but I just want to say thank you for fixing my gain because I can finally sound like you sound on here.
Yes.
I think that was intentional for 12 episodes.
It was not. Well, first of all, it was not 12 episodes. It was like the last 2, it got jacked up somehow, and
talent is appreciative.
I knew.
Talent is appreciative.
I knew it was wrong. I knew it was wrong, and I let you talk me out of it being wrong, which I do pretty frequently.
How many times in your life?
A lot.
Do you feel like
a lot.
You say I should have just
a lot? I do not listen to my intuition like I should,
crazy.
especially more so when it comes to you than anything else.
Why do you think that is?
Because I let you talk me out of things.
I don't even remember talking you out of it. I just said I can hear myself. That's all I was saying.
That's you. You were so adamant. And go back and listen to it. Have you even listened to the episode?
Yeah.
Listen to the episode, and you're like, it's fine. I can hear myself. It's fine. You don't know what you're talking about. And if it's not fine, you can fix it next time. I'm like, I know it's wrong. Stop it. Why did I not stop it? So frustrating to me. I did not stop it. So, you know what?
Lesson learned.
Doing that again.
At 48 years old, lesson learned for the 12,000th time.
Maybe.
Anyhow, I'm glad to be here with you on episode 13 of Life's
Are you
going
to keep counting down every episode? Like,
absolutely.
You're going to name it every time?
I'm proud of what we got going on right here.
I'm proud too. I'm proud that we have made it.
I think we've made like 12 cents off of this thing.
No, we've made 0 actually. Oh. But I am proud that we are still going because it is,
What I'm most happy about is the fact that I still enjoy this.
I do too.
Which is what my intention was the whole time. So I'm glad to be here. Glad to have you guys listening. We love talking to you guys about the podcast. We get messages about them. I was with my brother-in-law the other day, and he's bringing up shit that we've talked about on the podcast, and I'm like, what? But it's a lot of fun, so we appreciate the love.
It's the shit that they're bringing up is the stuff that nobody believes us about still, which we don't have to go into that. We can do a whole nother episode on that, but yeah, apparently we hear that all the time. I mean, we keep hearing, we don't believe it. You guys are still swingers, and we're like, okay. I
feel like they're trying to talk us into it.
Maybe
it's like if they
reverse
tell us
psychology?
so many times that
we'll think that we are.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Possibly.
But anyways, I actually had somebody say to me, I know that y'all say it, and I know that you're not, but then every now and again y'all will drop like something. Y'all say something and just like, well, hold on, that sounded like is that a teaser? Like,
what are you? I have no idea what they're talking about.
I don't either. We need to go back and listen to the episodes. But anyhow.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I don't care. But it is kind of funny when people say it all the time. And then our friends, because I guess we don't call out what friends we're necessarily maybe talking about or referring to. It
leaves it open for us.
Or
do they think it's about us now?
So I guess we're gonna have to do a whole separate episode and we're just gonna name them. All
folks.
The ones in Warner Robins that we know about.
Hashtag mom talk.
We're gonna name them.
No,
kidding.
we are
That's
not
happening
to do that.
because we don't know. It's hearsay for everything, pretty much. Anyway, so I don't know. But I just think it's funny. So we had a pretty good weekend. First of all, the pink towel. Let's talk about that because how many games have they played so far?
3.
And you had not been worried about the towel.
Well,
the first 2, I was about to say episodes. The first 2 episodes of the Georgia football game.
I wanted it against Clemson. I thought the game against Clemson would be a little bit tighter than it was. And then the second game was a smaller school. Third game was Kentucky, which we should have beat Kentucky. But when we played them there, it's always a tough game. So about halftime, I think, is when I went. I literally went through 6 or 7 space bags.
Well, what made you decide to not go look for it before that?
Well,
I don't understand.
I guess I kind of did.
Every year, I feel like that has been. What year did we decide you got that?
I think when your mom was going through breast cancer. That's what I think.
What year did we decide that was? It was like 2012 or something like that?
I don't know, something like that. 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah. And so you've had this exact same towel. And we did determine that we think it gets washed once a year?
Yeah, maybe a couple times, but it depends on what I'm cooking.
Depending on barbecue sauce, you got barbecue sauce on it, then maybe it gets washed more. But it definitely gets washed before it gets put in the space saver bag.
So I thought that I knew where it was. I apparently have a pink pair of socks in my top drawer that when I glanced in there, I thought it was the towel it was. And so anyhow, I thought, okay, I'll look for it another time. Well, then we get into halftime, I'm like, shit, I got to go find it. So I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I switch my clothes over during seasons. Like during
Did y'all hear the big
during the
sigh I
spring and
just did?
summer, I put all my fall clothes in Space Saver bags, blah blah. So I went up there and I thought to myself, why in the hell would I pack it in my fall clothes? Because I know I'm going to need to get it out
Yeah,
before the
it's
fall
like,
clothes.
why would you put a towel in
Makes
a
no
Space Saver
sense.
bag at all? It makes
no
zero sense. So I looked everywhere in this house that I could think of because,
Same.
and I knew it wasn't in any of these places because we, a couple of months ago kind of went through and cleaned out a lot of like
Yeah,
the
we went through
closets and
that era,
different.
too.
Yeah, we went through our little organization era and like painting things. And as I'm looking at my closet right now, that still's not completely painted. And I knew it wasn't anywhere, but I'm like, I'm just going to look everywhere anyway. And I looked through every single one of your
I went
drawers.
through 7 Space Saver bags, and then she finally, apparently there was another one with socks or something in it.
Why do you jump to? I hate when you do that. Would
Oh.
you just like let the story play out?
Oh, shit, okay. We're letting it play out.
Well, I mean,
Hey.
it's over. The suspense is over at this point.
No, I'll wake y'all up when she's done telling the story. You know what? This girl right
I
here
love
will
you
get.
so much.
This girl right
I
here will
love
get
you.
pissed.
I keep telling
You
myself
know what?
that.
You know what? When I say to her, "Thank you, Pot," this girl will get pissed when I tell a story and I want to add like details, right? And I elaborate, and it drives her batshit crazy. Yet she
Details
does the
that are
same
unnecessary.
exact thing. What are you going to add that's
I'm
necessary?
going to add that, of course, you went upstairs, you tore everything out of your Space Saver bag. So, of course, now we have a whole season worth of clothes sitting on
we
the
have people
couch.
coming over this weekend,
Exactly,
too.
and you got to clean that shit
gotta
up
deal
because
with
that's not going to fly.
That's my bad.
So, you have all of your clothes laying in there, which looks like crap. And so, I went into the attic that I thought, okay, there's Space Saver bags in there. Let me just look because I know how Kent looks, right? Right, ladies? You understand. I'm guessing most men are like this because
She's stereotyping.
I am
It's
because
2024.
well,
I don't like that. That is a sexist
I was
comment.
married.
That is a sexist comment, and I rebuke it.
I was married once
I
before.
rebuke it.
He didn't know how to look for things. I have a son. He doesn't know how to look
Oh,
for
we want
things.
to talk about exes
And now,
Is that what we want
I'm
to do?
married to you also, and I know you do not know how to talk about things or talk. What do I just say?
Look for things.
Look for things. I know you don't know how to look for things. So let a woman go do this. Let me go handle this, a mom. And so I went in there. I opened a few totes. I'm like, let me just look. And I'm like, oh, here's my Halloween costume stuff. And I kind of got sidetracked a little bit. And then I found another what's it called?
I'm not helping you
Space Saver. You know what? Eventually this is going to be on YouTube. You're going to see that I just flipped him off.
First of all, I'm talented, and I feel disrespected right now.
Well, you're going to feel a punch to the face right now if you don't stop with this talent BS.
I like that shirt on you, by the way.
It doesn't photograph real well, but
It's
thank
not
you.
the best on camera, but I do like it.
I appreciate that. I'm also working on taking compliments and just saying thank you versus, why would I not feel that I'm worthy of a compliment?
When did you start this?
I read it in a book today, and I'm like, I need to start doing that. But
I've been telling you that for 16 years.
I know, and that's another conversation, and I'm getting sidetracked, but I just wanted to throw that out there real quick. Anyway, in the Space Saver bag, I find the pink towel, and it is among his, apparently, fall socks. So I ask you, who out there has seasonal socks that they put up in a Space Saver bag? Like, I have socks that are warm socks that and I have my no-show type of socks that I wear with tennis shoes, and they just all stay in the same sock drawer together. Like, they don't have to be separated. It's not like they're at war with each other. They literally are just like, hey, yo, I'm a sock. I'm like, yo, I'm a sock too. Let's hang out together in the sock drawer. So why do your socks feel the need to be separated from the other socks?
I don't know.
Why is that?
I don't know if it's because my voice sounds equivalent to your voice today, but when you're telling this story, I'm getting turned on. Your voice sounds, I don't know if it was just, hey, I'm a sock, like, there was something about that story that just, damn, I kind of like this. But the point being is your socks are filled to the brim.
No,
So when stuff falls behind it, I gotta get it, or you can't find socks, or mine aren't like that. Mine aren't like that. My socks have their own space. But anyhow, there would be no sense in me looking through.
Zero. It would be zero
fall and
sense
winter
for
socks.
anybody to think that that's where that pink towel
Little
would
argument.
have gone.
Life's a little argument.
But
so, anyways, we found the towel.
I found the
Georgia
towel
played better in
at
the second half.
halftime, thankfully,
Georgia played better in the second half.
and they pulled it out and won.
And they have
So clearly,
the game against
the
their
pink
nemesis.
towel
this weekend.
has magical powers.
I'm
and
hoping we get to play this weekend because there is what they're saying is going to develop
I
into
need
a
you
hurricane.
guys to quit worrying about it and quit putting it into the universe. Like, it's
But
happening.
the only good thing is if it comes and it goes before Saturday. But I mean, it's if it's what they're saying, it could be torrential. So anyhow, I hope we get
It's
to
not
play.
gonna
I'm
be
excited
torrential.
about it
It's
because
not
we're
gonna
having people over now, and I damn sure don't want 40 people coming to my house, and they're coming over just to hang out.
Yeah, I mean, no, they
That's
won't.
too much.
It'll be canceled.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
anyway, that's not gonna happen. They play in Alabama, right?
correct.
So it'll be completely fine.
Yeah,
It's not gonna be a problem at all. Putting that out there, universe. Do you hear me? Anyway, so yeah, got the pink towel. It's not a problem. Lauren, because Lauren was literally on her phone, and she was fixing to try to order you a new one, and we're like, it's not the same.
not the same
It's
thing.
not gonna work. So luckily, I found it. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Georgia Nation thanks you. Dog Nation.
Dog Nation thanks me. The dogs everywhere thank me. So what did we do this weekend? We didn't do anything on Friday. I feel like.
Well, these last 2 weeks, well, I guess I should say week and a half. I've been in a complete fog. I feel like we went to the Keys literally a month ago, and it was just a week. My timing has been off. I've been busy with work.
You're like Johnny K right now. You're like a retired person, and you don't have a calendar apparently,
No,
and you don't know what day
I don't
it
think
is.
that's it. I think it's just since I've gotten back, and a few things have just kind of really taken off and snowballed with the real estate business, which is great. I'm very, very thankful, but it's like I just have not been able to. I did cardio last week at the gym. I didn't do any weights, which is weird for me.
But that was because you've
It was
injured
intentional.
most of your body parts.
Right, I'm hurting everywhere. But anyway, so I got back into the gym today, not my normal time, but I did make myself go midday, and I'm going to get back into my morning routine, and it'll be all good.
It wasn't mid. You went before lunch. You still went before lunch.
I was there at noon. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I got there at 11:10.
Yeah,
or
this
something.
morning. Yeah, you messed up my whole morning too. I don't know why I didn't get there until, or maybe I was there on time and I sat in my car on my TikTok for a while. I can't remember.
I love how her lane in this woman right here. She said to me 2 weeks ago, "Hey, I
Well,
think
as soon
what
as
I'm
we
going to
got back
start
from the
doing.
Keys.
Yeah, I
As
think
soon
what
as
I'm
we
going
got
to
back from the
start
Keys.
doing is we need to start setting an alarm.
Yes.
Because I get up at 6:30, 7 o'clock every day. I don't get out of bed all the time, but
When is the last time you've gotten up at
well, that's what
6:37
before
o'clock?
vacation.
Okay,
before
that's
vacation.
So you can't
that's
say
what
that's
I'm
a thing
saying.
anymore.
It's been a thing for
Dude,
years.
we're on camera. You can't just be grabbing my boob right now.
First of all, I'm grabbing your arm. You wish. Anyhow, this girl says to me, "We need to be more productive in the morning." I'm going to start setting my alarm for 6:30.
do.
I'm
We
going to get up and I'm going to go to the gym.
Definitely need to be more productive in the morning.
If you're going to say that, at least attempt it.
I think
At least set your alarm.
Well, I did.
You hadn't even set your alarm
Absolutely.
one time.
The first day I did, and then
No, because I even asked you.
yes,
Why is your
no, I set it the first day, and it went off, and I snoozed it. Actually, I didn't snooze. I just turned it off
No.
and went back to sleep.
But the point being is, if you're going to say you're going to do something, just at least try it. Damn.
I don't know about that. We'll see. So anyway, we've not been getting up early. Matter of fact, I feel like we've, in fact, just been
Worse.
getting up later.
Last week and a half
It's
is
been
throwing
bad.
me for a loop.
Yeah.
But
so
I'm ready to go now.
okay. What today? On Tuesday?
Well, I'm from here forward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, what did we do this weekend? We didn't do anything on Friday, right?
No.
Lauren was trying to figure out what we did based on
what we had for dinner.
if we
She's
could-
like,
if
no,
I
we didn't
cooked
do
dinner
anything
or
because
not.
we had buttered noodles and chicken that day.
And I was like, I don't think so.
Bless her.
I don't think I cooked. I can't remember exactly what happened. But Saturday was pretty busy. We took the dogs out to what I thought was going to be a pumpkin patch. It was an event. It was made. It's a local area. I don't blame them. But it was made as a pumpkin patch. Come to our pumpkin patch, and pick pumpkins, find
Said that
pumpkins,
5
whatever.
times fast.
Pumpkin. And so I'm like, oh, that's going to be really cute. Let's take the dogs out there because I like a picture moment with the dogs, and I just love to take them.
I mean, we got some great
everywhere.
pictures too.
It was some very cute pictures of them. So
because you go pick you cut your own flowers and all that stuff.
so we went
too.
to Arena Acres and we did their. You buy the solo cup for $15, and you cut your own flowers and put as many in that cup as you can get, which I did, and then I put them all in a little mason jar, which actually did not look real cute. I'm not a flower designer by any means.
But you've been wanting to do that for a while now. So I'm glad
Yeah,
we did.
it was more just about going out there and doing it and taking the dogs and letting them,
It was
walk
also
around
like
and
100
sniff all the
degrees.
stuff. It was
really
hot,
hot
yeah.
that day. So.
It was very hot, and I had like my little pickleball dress, which I don't even know if you can call it a pickleball dress anymore because I haven't played pickleball in like over a year. but I had it on, and the gnats kept flying on my back, and like they were making me itch and like tickle and whatever. And so I was like, I gotta get the hell out of here. But the pumpkins, it wasn't a patch. I felt like that was not quite accurate. They were on pallets. Like, here's a pallet, there's a pallet, there's a pallet, and you can pick. I guess that's still picking a pumpkin, but I don't. That it, to me wasn't. I had envisioned like what we went to last year.
Yeah, which
That's
to,
and that
to,
probably
to their
wasn't fair.
defense, that was
right.
that was
Right.
a pumpkin patch on steroids.
That-
That was an incredible pumpkin
And
patch.
we will go back again this year
Yeah,
because
huge,
I need
white,
those pumpkins. Huge
warded,
pumpkins.
everything, all sorts
Yeah,
of stuff.
really pretty, ugly, like all the colors. So anyway, so we did that, but we didn't stay very long because it was just too blazing hot. And then my plan, because it was your birthday last week, which your birthday and our anniversary are on the same day. I don't know if I know we told the story about getting married, but I don't really remember if we said we got married on your birthday or not.
I think we did.
Or why?
We said we were off work for my birthday, and then we
Okay.
said, let's go get married.
Well, it was more so I couldn't remember your birthday. Like, I literally, I was struggling. I don't know why I couldn't remember your birthday. And so that just seemed like a good idea. That way I would never forget it because now it was also attached to me. Turns out, like, I just then don't get an anniversary, so, which doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. So we were going to go to dinner, though. I thought we were going to do it on Friday night. That didn't happen. So we were going to go on Saturday night. And so that was kind of the plan. But then friends said, hey, we're at Wild Wings. And we're like, didn't wake up deciding I wanted to day
Well,
drink.
it lined up because I remember getting out in the shower, and of course I play music when I'm in the shower, and I remember saying, something hit me. I'm in the mood.
You did say
I'm
that.
in the mood, and
You
Georgia
did.
wasn't playing, and so, and then it just ended up. Well, you were like, well,
They
Lisa
happened to
said
be
they were
there.
going to. I was like, hell yeah,
Yep.
So it ended up turning into.
It turned into a day
A fun
drinking, day drinking situation. But we didn't take the dogs because we didn't want to be outside, so we were sitting inside, so we didn't take the dogs. So the dogs are at home, and so then when two of our friends decided they had their granddaughter, and after they got done babysitting her, they're like, hey, where is everybody? And we're like, we're not going to tell you until you go by our house and let our dogs out. Once you do that and you send confirmation, then you will get a clue to where we are. And they
So
did
we
it.
texted them clues.
They did it.
Yeah, we texted them 2 clues, and they figured out exactly where we were.
And you did it. You did a voice, like
I did a ransom. I was like, this is a ransom call.
oh, right. You did it
If
like
you
you were
wanna know where
QAnon
we're
or
going,
something.
You have to go let the dogs out. And then
You're
we'll
like,
send
they're
you
not going to know.
clues.
They're not going to know. I'm like, yeah, it came from your phone number. They're going to know who was
My
sending
phone
it.
could
But
have been stolen.
okay.
But
Anyway, so that was kind of cute. And poor Lincoln, my baby. He is so scared. Like, they went into the house,
Oh, yeah.
and Blakely is like, oh, there's Katie, whatever, loves Katie, whatever. And so excited. And so could take her right out, no problem. Poor Lincoln got so freaking scared.
peed on the floor.
Peed on the floor, yeah. Went
up under the bed.
went under the dining room table, peed on the floor. They had to clean that up, and then
Where does this come
he
from?
ran
I don't
upstairs,
know.
and they went upstairs to find him, and he's like, oh, fuck, get me out of here. And he runs back downstairs, and he goes straight to the bed, and he won't come back underneath.
It is so odd to me. I wish I
It's
knew where
so
this
weird,
comes from.
but I feel like from the second we got him, he's been like that. There was never anything that happened. Like, do you remember how scared he was when the guy gave him to me? How much he was shaking? I was
Yeah,
looking
but
at
I
that
feel
video.
like Blakely did that too. But his personality has always just been different.
It is.
And you would think, and I first of all, I don't think that they did anything at the
No.
breeder and all that. But
No.
but
It's
even
just-
if they did, I mean, we're talking.
It's just kind of how he is. It's just his
Yeah,
nature.
yeah.
It's just
Which,
hers.
I mean, there's certain things where we look over at Lauren and we're like, okay. Or, Jack. So, I mean, I get it. I mean, our kids are.
That breeder,
our
Jack-
kids are, our kids aren't the same, so.
Anyway, so yeah, that was poor guy. I totally scarred him. So thought there was a home invasion happening for him. Of Blakely's like blah 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 blah. It's fine. So so we did that, and that was so we ended up going. We started at Wild Wings. We ended up at is it Black Barley?
We went to Black Barley next.
And then you didn't really take me to eat, so I had popcorn that I went and got from the movies
And
and
we
took
went
it
to
home.
Decadent Dessert.
And then we decided you needed Decadent.
I
If
got
I
a
was
big
going
ass piece
popcorn,
of
you were going
a
to go to
chocolate
Decadent.
cake. And then
You got Decadent. I ended up getting a piece of cake too. And then
this was stupid. This was a poor decision on my part.
you ordered 2 sushi rolls from Kendi
They were
to
so
take home for
effing
dinner.
good.
They're
though.
actually really good.
They were so effing good.
So
But it just
I was
made me
supposed
realize
to
the
have
cake
dinner.
was so unnecessary.
I was supposed to have dinner for my anniversary and instead ended up with popcorn, cake, and I had about 3 bites of your sushi. So I feel like you still owe me a dinner.
Yeah, sure. I'll owe you dinner.
So anyway.
We need to go get those tomahawk steaks we saw at
Oh my
or you
God,
saw
they
at
were
Sam's.
which, I mean, that's what it is. I guess it's ginormous, but
Yeah.
my goodness, there's like, we couldn't even eat all that. That's crazy.
Yeah, but we get the old college try.
Yeah, but
I want to do it. We've never done one before. I want to do one just to say we've done it.
I know, but you think you can actually,
I'm not asking,
it'll
and I'm not having this conversation.
correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. I have zero concern about that.
okay.
Doubt me one more time.
I mean,
This
where's Jackson? I
I
need
know, but I
some
feel like-
backup on this.
I feel like I'm gonna have to get rid of some pent up frustration after this episode.
Oh, I already know you
Because you're
want
about to get on my nerves.
Well, you can get on my nerve all the time, so it's fine. But and then Sunday you went to play disc golf,
Mhm.
which you don't do a whole lot of. But when you do make those plans and do it, I'm like, yes, because Lauren had to work that morning, or morning, afternoon, and then you were gone, and so I had like almost, I feel like 3 solid hours of alone time. And that's alone time. That's like me, myself, my book, and the dogs too, of course. And so I read my book. I should have been doing so many other things. There's so many other things I had on my list of things to do. I didn't. I laid in bed and read that book. I read it the entire time. And it was the most wonderful thing I have done in a very long time. Even on vacation, because I didn't have really any alone time on vacation. I got to go sit out by the pool for like maybe an hour, but you and I are like texting back and forth the entire time.
We were. Yeah, we were.
I know, we talked about that.
And the fingernail clipping guy.
Did we talk about that?
We did.
It was disgusting. So while I'm laying out, and I'm in the shade, but I'm literally just laying by the pool. It's one of my favorite things to do, whether it's beach time, that 4 o'clock time frame, being under an umbrella in the shade after you've already been out in the sun all day. The sun's starting to, you're heading into that, it's setting, everybody's leaving the beach. That is my favorite time to either take a little nap, which I never really nap, or read my book under an umbrella. And so this time I didn't have a beach, but I had the pool to myself, lay down there in the shade, had my book down there, and, just reading, but ended up not really reading that much because you and I were texting back and forth. We were sexting basically. But then there's guy comes out of nowhere, I guess one of the Airbnbs. He's standing down a ways from me, like probably 15 yards.
Annie has convinced herself this man could not see her.
I stood up and I never caught his eye, so he never was looking my direction when I stood up to see where this nail clipping sound was coming from, and it was him, and he must have clipped every nail he had, every toe, and then somebody else's too.
Of course he did.
I have never heard anybody it takes so long to clip their fingernails, and it was aggressive, like it was loud nail clipping, and I'm like, disgusting, and I didn't even think to look for the nail file clipping. That's even gross too. It's grossing me out to even talk about it, but that was disgusting. Anyway, where was I?
So I eventually,
alone time.
Yeah, I eventually made my way down, and we're in a pool together, and he and his family are going somewhere, and he like comes out and is like has this like weird stare, and
Yes,
I'm
creepy.
kind of looking, I'm like, what the
Creepy.
fuck? Like, it was weird. Well, then his wife comes out. She didn't even look our direction. She looked pissed actually. And then the daughter comes out. She didn't look our direction. She looked pissed. And I told Annie, the old dude, I guarantee was sitting there watching what you were sending to me and clipping his fingernails the whole time. And she probably, the wife probably saw him.
Well, I
and probably
wasn't
got
facing
pissed
that
at him.
direction, so I don't see how he could see anything I was sending to you. But regardless, it doesn't matter. He was a creep.
Yeah, it was a little weird,
disgusting. But I got alone time this weekend, so I was very excited about that. And we got to talking a little bit. I told you, we kind of talked about it, and I was telling you about the alone time, how much, like, I love alone time, but you don't typically need alone time. And you said, well, that's not really true. I like alone time, but my alone time is when we are out with our friends in a group setting, and I'm like sitting with the guys, talking to the guys, or I'm, doing my little social butterfly thing, so I'm not around you. So to him, that's his alone time. That's your alone time.
Yeah, I think to define alone time with this is us being away from each other, because you and I are around each other so much.
But that's the difference. That's
yeah.
not alone time for me.
Right.
Like, I need absolute alone time, not just.
Because that's what fulfills you.
Yeah. So
And-
what fulfills me?
Right.
Yes.
And what fulfills me is being around other people. And it's not that I don't like being around you, but we always say, okay, well, when we go to parties, like you kind of get in the corner and I go do this, or when we go to this event, you kind of get in the corner and I go do this. Like that is what fulfills me. The idea of sitting in a room by myself for anything more than 10 minutes, like it just makes me cringe. First of all, I'd fall asleep.
You
we know
absolutely
that.
would fall asleep.
And second of all, I would probably start cleaning it. I'd go cut grass. I would do anything other than just sit there. And we know I'm not going to read. I mean,
Yeah, we know that.
let's face it.
He's not gonna read.
So anyways, it was just kind of an interesting conversation around like where that fulfillment comes for you versus me, and like, do people really need alone time? And I think most people probably do, but their definition of it might be a little bit different. So
Yeah, so it was interesting to have that conversation with you, to hear what your because I don't know that we've ever had that conversation, and I'm like, I just need alone time, and you're like, well, you get alone time, or maybe I was saying you don't ever have alone time,
Right.
and doesn't that
and
bother
I said
you?
I don't need it. Not in your sense of the definition.
Well, no, you said I get it. I get it when we are out in groups, not together, and I'm like, but that's not alone time. Like, you're not alone still.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very interesting. The fact that you consider alone time
just meaning
not really alone time. Still, it's just
away from you.
non-Annie time.
Yeah.
That's-
And I love anytime. You know that. I mean, I'm the type that when I leave, I'm calling you. When I'm texting you. I mean, I love being around you, but
You love to call me when you were in the car, but
Right.
let's
just said
reverse
when I
the
leave
conversation.
right.
When you're at home and I try to call you.
Phone's breaking up.
Exactly. So why is that? Why is that you feel like I want to talk to you while you're in the car, but yet you don't want to talk to me if you're at home and I'm in the car?
Because if you call me and I'm at home, there's one of three things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm either in the restroom, I'm working, or I'm watching a show pretty intently. And so if one of those three things are happening, I really don't want to be on the phone.
Right.
Anyway.
So why do you think it's any different for me? Why do you think if you're in the car and I'm at home that
If it
I'm
does-
just sitting around twiddling my thumbs,
if it
waiting
doesn't work
for
that's
you
all
to
gotta
call me?
say. If it doesn't work, if you're
Well, it doesn't, I
doing
tell
one of
you.
your 3 or 4 things, all you got to do
I
is
usually
say.
just decline it. I just
Okay,
decline
that's
the
fair
call, and I text. Did you need something?
So I'm all you got to do is not answer or just say, hey, I'm in the middle of something. But I'm still going to call because you crossed my mind. I just left somewhere. I've not talked to you in 2 hours. You're on my mind. I just want to call. That's what I do.
And I appreciate that.
Okay, I can tell you do.
I do.
Talent can
in
tell.
my own
I can tell
way.
you do.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that about you.
You're going to miss me one day. I can tell you that.
Well, yes, I would
And
absolutely.
you're like, man, I sure wish Kent was still around to
yes,
call me.
I do. I don't want to joke about that at all because I absolutely would. But I also need my alone time, and I need it much more frequently than you need alone time in a group.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, agree.
honestly, I could have alone time every single day. It would be fantastic. I'm trying to do that actually at the gym. That's why I've been doing that zone 2 cardio, and because it keeps you at the higher point of your heart rate for like your zone 2, but yet so like you could walk on the treadmill and keep probably have a conversation. I mean, you would be a little bit winded, but you could keep up a conversation. But I'm walking at a pace that I still can read while I'm walking. So I am enjoying that, and I've almost made it through this book, so I'm excited about that. So I heard a phrase this week. It's called JOMO.
No, it's called, I thought it was Joymo.
What did I say?
Jomo.
Okay. It's
Which is it?
It's
Is it
JOYMO.
Joymo? Okay.
It's JOYMO. So do you know what JOYMO is? I bet you can guess.
Is that rhetorical? Because I do know it. Are you asking the audience?
I'm asking you.
Oh, yes, I know what Joymo means.
What does JOYMO mean?
Joymo is like, so FOMO is the fear of missing out.
Right?
Joymo is the fear of missing
I feel
a
like this
joyful
shirt's choking
feeling.
me also.
So, for example,
You might need to say that again because I think
I think joymo means like missing out on the joy it brings you from missing out.
Yes.
So, for example, I don't really want to go somewhere. I don't want to go to this party. So I'm kind of happy. I'm kind of joyful because I really don't want to go to the party. But then
it is still nice to get invited.
Yeah.
So even though you both can exist. You can have the joy mode, which I think I have pretty frequently, but it's still nice to be invited places. And I think that's where I finally have come to realize is that I like to be invited, but at what point, what's the right, how does it work? Like, I don't really want to go, and people probably know that I don't want to go because they know me and they know how I am. So they're like, well, I'm not going to invite her because I know she's not going to want to go anyway. But then that kind of is like, oh, well, that doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel nice to be left out. I would like to be invited, but I don't want to go. But I would still like to be invited. So like, where's that line?
Well, I think all of us probably go through that in some capacity. So think about like when there's a weekend when you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy we don't have anything going on this weekend. Yeah. That by definition really is joy mode.
Right.
You're joyful that you don't have anything going on. But no, I mean I think we all want to be invited, and I'd rather have the opportunity to say no. Or
but
just not
if
go.
You are constantly inviting somebody and they're never wanting to go,
you're going to stop inviting them. I would.
But why?
Because I don't like it's a downer to me.
Does it feel like rejection to you?
It just brings me down.
Why does it bring you down?
Because they don't think like me.
Okay. There's a lot of the world that doesn't think like you.
I have an affinity bias with that.
Okay, explain that.
An affinity bias only because I asked about this on the Facebook about the what did you call it?
The reticular activating system.
So they said I think that's an affinity bias. So I looked up the definition for affinity bias. I said I don't think that's the same exact thing, but an affinity bias basically is you take like people for example. You tend to hang around people that are like you. You tend to think like people that are like you. You have an affinity to them because they, and I don't know if it's necessarily like you, if that's the definition of it, or y'all are similar, but that's, you having a bias. So anyhow, positive people being around positive people, negative people being around negative people, that kind of thing. And I'm not suggesting that, and I'm really just being somewhat sarcastic when I say they're not like me or that it's a downer, but it is kind of to a certain extent, it's like, okay, I've asked you 10 times and you've said no, like 9 of the 10 times. Like I don't know. I think I don't know why it bothers me, but it does.
But maybe it's not just I'm saying no because I don't want to go. Maybe it's things just haven't lined up. I've got plans, or this has already been scheduled and I can't go because of this reason or whatever. Or it's not just a I don't want to go type of situation. You still feel like any no is
no, of course not.
Bothers you like that?
No, not any no is the same. But I don't think that there's anybody out there who truthfully has something that doesn't line up 9 times out of 10. It's what I'm saying, like, and maybe it's because I realize you have joy mode. Maybe I'm like, well, Annie doesn't really want to go. They don't really want to go. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I want everybody to be included. I want everybody to have a good time. I want everybody to go. And it's just like if you don't match that vibe.
But it's hard. I think with
maybe it's a vibration thing.
I think with friendships it's hard. I think, and I think we've run into this pretty frequently.
Because we have a pretty big friend group.
We have a fairly. I feel like it expands and expands and expands. And sometimes certain people are more apt to hang out together or go places together or where others wouldn't typically go, or maybe it is a situation like a football game, like we just invite, like we're inviting everybody, and so it's hard. I feel like, so when I was watching the what was it, the Utah Wives, the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, I feel like that was coming up at me. I feel like that show for whatever reason was kind of triggering that feeling left out,
because there's some separation in
me. Yes, because there is separation in the group, and it's not a good or bad thing, it is just natural, I think. And my logical mind knows this, that it's logical and it makes sense because of things that they can do versus maybe things that we can't do. And sometimes it's just like, one, I don't want to, or two, maybe it's the dogs, it just doesn't work out for us or something like that. And I'm joyful that I don't necessarily have to go do this, but at the same time, it is hurtful to not be invited. And it's not that you're not invited. I guess where I take it is, it's not that you're just not invited. It is you're excluded. And I'm talking through this right now out loud and realizing like that's a me problem.
I was going to say, I think it probably tends to, I don't think, I was going to say it affects you differently because I think there are other people in our group that feel the same exact way. And I feel like that from time to time, but it's far fewer. So I do think it's somewhat of an Annie thing, and maybe it's somewhat of a female thing. I really don't know.
Well, because I don't feel like you've ever really had that. I feel like you have felt that recently, but I'm wondering, do you feel that recently just because you were picking up so much of my feeling of it?
Absolutely.
Like, is it
there's definitely
feeding
times
off of me, basically.
There's definitely
really
times where that
feeling.
happens, and then there's times where I'm picking up on your vibration, and then there's times where I take on, being aggravated for you. I take on being upset for you because, you're my wife, you're my person, So
Yeah.
I think that's natural that tends to happen. Or I hear you talking about it. But then sometimes it's like, all right, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
you've told me
enough.
plenty
You know
of
what I mean?
times. Like you say no so many times. You can't expect people to keep inviting you if you just keep saying no. You said that to me quite a few times, and I get it from that standpoint too. And it really wasn't until just now when I'm talking about it out loud that I'm like, logically, I know it is not a, hey, we want to exclude them, let's purposely make them feel bad. But it still is hurtful, and and that's because that's the way I take it, and that's not necessarily the way it's meant or even thought about or even given any consideration whatsoever. That's likely more so what it comes down to, is it's really not even thought about, honestly.
Yeah, and I think the challenge too is, when you're part of a big friend group, and everyone, let's say that everyone has some version of that feeling, right? Let's assume that that's the case. It's impossible for 30 people to go out to eat every weekend.
Yeah,
it's impossible
for sure.
20 people to go get drinks every
sure.
time. And so I think when you kind of take a step back and you're like, what really kind of makes me different than anyone, I don't know. I mean, no one wants to be excluded. No one wants to feel bad, that kind of thing. But then you just have to remind yourself, like, and the other thing you have to remind yourself is, I'm not the one being proactive here.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one saying, hey, do y'all want to go get drinks? I'm not the one
And
saying, do y'all want to go to dinner? I'm
Exactly.
not the, so to a certain extent, it's also like, well, I can't really complain if I'm not,
You're right.
getting out there and doing those things too.
Yes. And we've kind of had those conversations because that 100% is me. I am that introvert. In that situation, I am that introvert. I'm not going to insert myself into someone's plans. If they want to include me, they won't include me. But if they don't, I'm not going to insert myself. And that's where I definitely differ from somebody like you. You have no problem saying, hey, what's everybody doing? Is the doorbell ringing?
I don't think so.
I feel like we're hearing something.
Maybe you should hit pause.
Let's
That's
pause.
enough.
Well, that was sweet.
Yeah, so one of our neighbors just dropped off some Georgia cookies for us. I did her a favor last week. Completely unnecessary, but it was a thoughtful gesture.
Yes,
I just
very
had
much
one of them too.
appreciated.
It was really good. So
Yeah.
our pause was actually quite nice.
It was worth it.
Very tasty.
So anyway, hey baby, I feel like I've lost my train of thought, but I'm not even sure how we got on that conversation unless it did it come up because we were talking about
a long
joy mode?
time, and then we transitioned into joy.
Anyway,
mode,
so
I'd be interested in knowing if others had heard of Joy Mo and if they have Joy Mo as well.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I love all of our friends deeply and dearly, and it's but big friend groups are friends. I think in general as adults is difficult because we talked a little bit about that, because I don't feel like I personally have like a best friend, and I think I've identified that I've never had a complete one-on-one best friend. I've always had friend groups. I've had girlfriends that I felt were best friends. Like, I have best friends. I would consider them best friends, but it's never been just a one-on-one, like, you are my person. And I think a lot of people, I feel like there are women that I know that have that. Like, it's literally, you are my person. And
Well,
I've never experienced that.
You even said when we were on our walk the other day that Amy and Stephanie, who were your quote-unquote best friends in high school, that it was kind of the three of y'all, but that Stephanie and Amy had already had a relationship prior because they knew each other from school.
Yes,
before you
they were
came
in
into
elementary
the
school together. I came into the picture in middle school, so it was still me coming into their dynamic of having a history as friends. And when I think about every other friend after that, they've always had other.
So are you on like
friends.
single white female only? You can be my friend and my friend only. Like what? I mean,
no, it's not that. But I think there are females out there that have like that one best friend.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But
I think you're speculating to a certain extent.
Well, so when I think about, let me just break it down. So I think about Michelle. So Michelle, I would consider as a best friend, but Michelle has other best friends. I think about, like if I were to think about Katie, I would consider Katie a best friend also, but Katie is really, truly, like if she had to name her number one best friend, she's going to name Renee. So it's just, I guess from that standpoint, it's just, I don't have like, and maybe, hell, it's probably TikTok has got me fucked up because I feel like
TikTok about
TikTok,
shit that's so unnecessary.
it is absolutely necessary.
Like,
it makes no difference. It means
this
nothing.
Is what I live with,
but
by the
this
way,
is what
guys.
I think this is what TikTok does to you. It makes you feel like you're supposed to have that because you see these women making these TikToks and they're like, me and my bestie do this and
Listen,
me and my
that's
bestie do
why
that.
there
And I'm
is-
like, I don't have just this one bestie.
That's
like,
why
I
these
don't-
attorneys are coming on here saying if you've ever felt a certain type of
Well,
way about
I need to
Instagram and
contact
TikTok.
them.
But I think it's just a certain age group, so I think you're well
I don't
beyond
know.
that. They thought you would have had your shit sorted out by 48, but apparently
I'm
it still affects you.
almost by 49. I'm trying to sort.
You'll
sort
be
it
49
out.
in 3 months, less than 3 months officially.
I will be officially 49.
Man,
pretty
you
soon.
are a smoke show.
I am. You are right. Thank you. I am working on taking those compliments at
That
face
sounds
value.
so authentic.
No, what I said I was going to do is I was going to look you in the eye, put my hand in my heart, and say, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You don't know how much that means to me. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
And that's what I'm going to say from now on when people give me
You're going to
compliments.
say the same thing every time?
I think so that I can remember it. Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to try to memorize it so it's just, like muscle memory.
You'll
just
probably
come out.
start it before I even walk up to you. I'll just
put-
be
I'll
approaching
just
you
start
and be like,
rubbing my
thank you
heart."
so much. I appreciate that. You have no idea how much I appreciate that.
Oh, Lord. Well, speaking of TikTok, and, I try not to go down the rabbit hole because I do feel like that could take a lot of my day, and I've got other things to do. I don't need to be worried about all the drama going on TikTok, but I couldn't help but get sucked in a little bit today on some of the drama. And this maybe this has happened. Maybe I'm behind. I probably am because I'm not on TikTok a whole lot. But some of the drama that's going on TikTok right now is there's this, I can't remember the lady's name, but she basically is like a TikTok affiliate or has a TikTok shop. I don't even know how all that works. But companies send her products, like freebies, and she'll use it and do like a little TikTok
Promo
on
video.
it. Yeah. And so she had done that with this company called Locked. It's Locked Permanent Jewelry. Well, and it basically what it is it's like a set of bracelets that come with the jewelry thingy that you need to basically put your clasp together and make it a permanent bracelet, which, I mean, these are like, they're soldered, but the ones that you get are not soldered. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, and so she had ordered it, or she didn't order it, whatever. She wanted to do it because one for her, one for her husband. They were going to do it together, and she was going to promote it on her anniversary, which was coming up, within, I think, a couple of weeks of when she got the kit. Well, apparently the kit she got the husband's bracelet on, no problem, but the one that she got, the clasp was, it was just like broken. It was a defective clasp. The clasp didn't have a hole in it. It was like solid, so you couldn't hook them together. And so she emails this company, Locked Permanent Jewelry, and is like, hey, here's the situation. This is a collaboration. Can you please send me another one? Well, I guess they didn't realize that it was a collaboration and they had sent this to her for free. And so their response is that you can go onto our website, order another one, and you can even use your, I guess, an affiliate link or something, I don't know, and get half off or something. So they were going to charge her $10 plus like maybe shipping to ship a new clasp to her that they had already, in fact, given her for free. Totally see her side. I don't know about you, but I'm 100% understanding her side, right?
At this point, yes.
Yeah, make complete.
Because other than that, it sounds like bait and switch. Like,
yeah, as a business owner, you sent her something that was defective. I need to fix it and send you the right one. So they come back and they're like, well, and she's like, no, I'm not sure you understand. Let me explain it. The clasp is not working. Blah blah blah. I'm talent. I'm trying to post this video. My husband's is already on his arm. I'm trying to put mine on. Blah blah blah. And they're like, I think they go back and forth a couple of times, and the final piece is they're like, don't worry about it, your collaboration is canceled, no need for you to do anything further.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, and so she's like, I guess
I'm about to blast.
This goes on a couple of weeks, and finally, after the same day, she sent them something back. She's like, no, I think you misunderstood. I'm not trying to end the collaboration. I'm just wanting you to send a clasp for mine that was defective. That's all I'm asking for. Just need you to send me a new one so I can finish out this collaboration and post it. I want to do it on my anniversary, blah, blah, blah. And so they're like, forget about it. We don't want you anymore, basically. And so once it came to that, she's like, okay, I don't like this. This is not feeling good.
Who is this lady?
I don't know. I can't remember her name.
We're going to have to get that to you guys because we're going to go look her up. I want to know how many followers she has.
Many more now because of all this.
Right.
So anyway, I guess she goes on and she does blast. I don't know what she blasts. I didn't see the video where she blasts them. If she did, all I saw was the video of her explaining it, and she did the email chain of where she emailed and they emailed her back. So she must have blasted them somehow. Anyway, on one of her videos, the Locked Permanent Jewelry TikTok page comes on and says, basically, if you weren't being such a Karen, maybe we could have, taken care of this or something like that. They literally said being such a Karen in some way, shape, or form. Matter of fact, where's my phone? Oh, my phone's
I'm trying to find it right now.
Well, because I videoed it. I took a screenshot of it. Anyway, so I found the guy who I guess maybe is the owner of this, and he was trying to explain his side, and he's like, yes, we did go on from our business page and we called her a Karen. However, we wouldn't have called her a Karen had she not tried to blast us, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. Which so many people have been making videos on it, and they're kind of cracking me up.
Yeah, I'm getting lost right now, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you gotta...
A minute.
We'll
anyway, post it, yeah.
So, I'm like... So he did a video, again, this is...
He being the owner.
Yeah, this is like Brooks. He's the owner, I guess. And so he did a video and he's like, yeah, so final boss Karen bankrupts Locked. So I guess because of her following and people are literally bashing them, he's like, yeah, we're basically going to go under. We're not going to survive this.
Whoa, so I really see both sides.
I do too. I feel so bad.
No, I really don't. I see one side.
I see her side, and they handled it wrong.
What's crazy is I was sitting here thinking, the whole time you're telling this story, I was thinking, this is some customer service person that there's no way.
No, I think he was the one that actually did it.
That's the problem.
That is the problem. He fucked it.
He's saying we may be.
He's trying to justify it.
It may have been in with 3 people, but I guess that doesn't matter. But the point being is, I was thinking to myself, there's no way someone in a leadership or an ownership position is handling it this way. but it sounds like it is or was at some
It
point.
did.
And
He done did it.
you know, if you're a business owner and you did not understand the impact that was going to have,
No, crazy.
you're living under a rock.
You really
man.
are. Like, I thought about stuff like that every
I hate cancel culture.
I do too.
I hate it,
I do
but
too,
she
but
was
man.
justified in this situation.
And I don't want to feel as though like I'm being bullied and ran over, and I really weigh each scenario. Like, I understand policies and procedures because I had policies and procedures. However, I am allowed to make exceptions, and I will in fact make exceptions in certain situations where it makes sense. And this is one, like, if there's not even an exception,
She
they
wasn't
were wrong.
asking
They
to-
got a
to- yeah.
defective class.
Right.
They should have just been like, yeah, duh, let me send you the class. Here, go on, girlfriend, make the
What
make
is
the
she
video.
doing to try to take advantage of them? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the
Like
point.
nothing,
Yeah.
zero, zilch,
Man,
nothing.
I'm
They were-
intrigued now. I'm going to
yeah.
be dialed in on this.
So you know, her TikTok was she already had enough TikToks to be able to do like affiliate type stuff, and who knows how many people she's gaining
We're gonna
followers
find
now. But I was like, whoa.
So I need a product or service to send us something.
Yeah.
I won't blast you. I'll promote it, and then if y'all don't handle it the right way, then I'm gonna stand on.
Yeah.
What did they say? I'm gonna stand on business. What was it? That one show we were watching.
What?
It was on Love Island. They kept saying, "I'm gonna stand on business" or something. It was like all of them started saying it.
I know what you're talking
You know,
about.
when you're on that island together, they all
Yes.
start talking to
Yes,
like each
I
other.
can't think about it what it was.
Anyhow.
But anyway, so that was very interesting. And then I did not at all go down this rabbit hole because I knew there would be no coming back from it. But we know this stuff with Diddy.
Oh, jeez.
It is.
Well, it's crazy. So people are like, I feel bad for Justin Bieber and all this other stuff. The problem with it now is, and I know Diddy, piece of shit. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. The dude's going to go under. He's probably going to take some people down with him. And I know that he took advantage of a lot of people. The problem is there's so much fake stuff out there that you don't know what to believe and what not to believe. When I say that, what I'm talking about, like, what did Justin really have to endure? What did this person really have to endure? And it probably wasn't good, but, you know, some of this stuff is just completely outlandish. It's like, man, like, if he really had to endure that kind of stuff, like, you know, I don't know. But so anyways, I don't know what's truthful, what's not truthful. There's just so much crap out there, but he's going to go down for sure.
Well,
What I don't understand, sorry to interrupt you. What I don't understand, and the thing that frustrates me, is his music is still playing. And when we live in a quote unquote cancel culture, this is a perfect example of how one-sided our media is, and how one-sided our news sources are, and how one-sided social media is. Because if this had happened to anyone else,
listen, I'm not trying to go down that.
well, I'm damn sure
podcast.
going down it, because it is so one-sided. It's bullshit. There is zero reason. There's zero reason for his music to be playing anywhere in America, radio, downloads, YouTube. I don't give a shit. If this had happened to anyone else, if this had happened to Morgan Wallen,
and his deals,
if this had happened to Morgan Wallen, I guarantee you, he would be canceled for the rest of his life.
Anyway, let me tell you the rest of it.
Bullshit.
So
I'm frustrated by this.
Okay, but listen.
All right.
So now, allegedly, 'cause we have to say that, these other stars are deleting their everything on their Twitter accounts.
I bet.
So the names have come out so far. They have deleted everything. Of course. Allegedly. Usher, Pink, Megan Fox. Now, Usher has said, no, I was hacked. Do we believe that?
Don't know.
Yeah.
But somebody could very well have hacked him. The government could have hacked him for all we know.
Whatever. Everything just mysteriously got deleted. Pink, same thing. I think she's said something about why all her stuff's gone. Megan Fox. Anyway, again, this is all allegedly. I'm taking it all off of Google. I'm reading. I didn't go down the whole TikTok.
You know what my favorite comment is now?
What?
TMZ hadn't said it.
That's true.
And then people were like, "That's the damn truth," because if it ain't on TMZ, it did not
Yes,
happen. And
yes.
I think we alluded to that on one of our other ones.
I feel like
episode 3. I
and we
believe.
normally watch TMZ like while we're cooking, which is
dinner,
usually
yeah.
now. And so we need to go turn it on and see
Yeah.
if there's anything about it. But I thought that was very interesting. So it'll be interesting to see the fall of who follows suits. Like, where does this in fact go? Does it go anywhere? Does it just get swept under the rug? Does he buy his way out of it? Like,
Well, it's crazy
what's
because
really
I
gonna
thought
happen
it.
with
I
this?
thought it had gotten swept under because this stuff
Yeah.
started coming out several months ago.
Yeah.
In fact, there's somebody on our Facebook that's like, "Where's Diddy?" And I'm like, I don't know. It's swept up under the rug, and we're not hearing about it. If it had happened to other people, it would be all over the news nonstop. Yada yada yada. And so I'm actually, in a weird way, pleased that it's resurfaced, and I hope that he pays big time for this shit. And if anyone else did it, which I know that it happens, I hope that they have to pay for this shit.
yeah, it's some really scary kind of stuff. So anyway, that was
I can't imagine the stuff that really happens. And when I say Hollywood, I'm just talking about the uber
well,
elite.
yeah,
you know
because
what I
we
mean?
watched The Perfect Couple,
Yeah.
and I was gonna just
man,
mince.
if you have not watched The Perfect Couple, you need to.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. It's six episodes. So
Yeah.
it's limited series.
And it was very good. And so we got into this conversation about that because they were like kind of Uber.
Yeah, elite,
Not Uber.
yeah.
They seemed, that house on Nantucket, man, that was pretty. I don't know if it was really
a
filmed
different
there,
level of wealthy.
but, yeah, and so we kind of talked about the fact of they just, they pay people off. People take the fall for them, or, they get out of things because of money. And so, anyway, if you haven't watched Perfect Couple, I highly, highly recommend. I don't know what it's on because I don't
It's
control the
Netflix.
remote.
I just said that.
Okay.
And it's an easy binge because it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, it's only 6 episodes. I really like it. Somebody had said that if we like that, I think they were talking about that one, that we would like White Lotus too. We never ended up getting into that, so maybe we'll go back
Check
and
it
watch
out, yeah.
that one. I don't know. Anyway, so it's time. I gotta go cook. Like, we gotta eat dinner, so we got.
I
it's
just
time
had a
to go.
cookie, so I'm good.
Oh,
At
well,
least for a minute.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
That's great for you. I'm gonna, I guess, go
Annie,
cook.
I appreciate that. You have no idea how much
What's
I
my
appreciate
thing?
that.
I can't even think of how the song goes. All I can think of is the second part. The whole. I don't do the.
I gotta do. I don't cook. I don't clean.
Yeah, I don't cook. I don't clean.
And then what?
Yes, I do the cooking.
Yes,
Yes, I do the
cleaning.
cleaning. So that's where I'm going right now.
Yeah, cut up that credit card.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Well,
I kind of like these just boom, 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 quick. Like we didn't really have like a full agenda, full serious item, like one particular topic.
but you wanted to talk about a dang serious topic, and I'm like,
Well,
I'm not
we're
here
gonna
for
have to
that
talk about it at
today.
some point. I figured we'd throw it out there. 'Cause
No, but I'm really gonna work on this tonight, and I really am trying to get this whole YouTube thing.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be great to begin with, but I think I'm figuring it out. So I'm working on that tonight. Get
Yeah,
this one on
buddy.
there.
All right.
We'll see. Anyway, all right. Love you
Love
guys.
you
We'll talk
guys.
to you guys.
Go
Bye.
dog.